Hey y'all, it's Michelle, and I am here to go live and talk with you guys about some things that have been coming up for me in the last week or so. They've been coming up in my own life. They've been coming up in questions from our Women Who Wow members. By the way, if you're a seriously driven women entrepreneur and you are not part of PlanetWOW.club, come on over and join us. We would love to welcome you and just share in your success, as well as help you through any challenges that you might have in your business. And so, hey, Deborah, I am excited to be talking with you guys about simply about failure, a little bit about failure, about my own personal commitment to failure, which seems maybe a little bit counterintuitive, but it absolutely works. And I also want to answer some questions that I get regarding membership, right? So obviously Women Who Wow is a membership, and people have questions about that all the time. And people will say, like, I want to create what you have with Women Who Wow. And I say, great, like, that's exactly what you should do. And however, there's a lot of hype and a lot of marketing out there talking about memberships these days. I wrote an article. If you would like an access to it, I'll put it in the comments below. But I wrote an article which is really like a sales page / article, and it's all about like how I came into membership, which was definitely by accident. I created a membership in 2008, and it was pretty much near immediate success. I had a lot less competition back there, like a lot less people were doing memberships. And my membership in 2008, 2009, 2010, it had essentially two benefits, and it used two tools. And the benefits were e-coaching and phone coaching, and the tools were phone and email. And so anyway, I really have learned a whole lot about memberships over the years, and this was well before I actually officially open the doors to Women Who Wow. And so one thing that I'm offering, and if you want it, just comment member in the comments below, but I am almost done with a free blueprint for how to create a profitable membership program that really meets all of your needs. It simplifies your life, it creates a steady income stream, and all of that. So if you want that free resource, just comment member in the comments below. And if you know people who should hear a little bit more about membership, or who might want to hear my unique little view on failure, and actually my commitment to failure, then share this with your friends so they can come and join us. Let's talk about failure for just a minute. Then I'll talk about the questions about membership, specifically some of the most common questions that I get regarding membership, which is all about the technology and the promotion of membership and all of this stuff. And I'm going to get to that in a second. However, I want to talk about failure because I feel like we view failure as something bad. I feel like we run from failure, or we won't really try hard because we're afraid of failing. I wrote an article a little bit ago about me challenging my 16-year-old daughter to a race, and a physical, actual running race. And I don't know what got in my head, right? Like I really felt like I might be able to beat her. I run more than her. She wasn't really well conditioned, but she's still 16. And anyway, that race took place, and I can assure you that it was not super close. It wasn't a landslide, but it wasn't super close. And I lost, like, in spectacular and public fashion. And she loved it, but I also loved it too. And I try to tell my kids, and also I tell my clients all the time, like, I have an absolute all-out love affair and commitment to failure. And the reason is, if I am not failing, then I'm not learning as quickly as I could. If I'm not failing, then I know for sure that I'm playing small, right? Failure is sort of part of our thing here, as part of our gig as entrepreneurs. We have to fail. And so, you know, my commitment really is to fail so much that it would be impossible for me not to succeed, right? We do fail forward. All of the phrases that we've heard, that you've heard me say, like one that I got from my coach, which is, yes lives in the land of no. And by the way, There is no land of yes, right? In order to get to the yes, in order to get to the win, you've got to go through the no, and you got to get to the failure, right? And so there is no land where you're only going to have wins and that's all you do. All you do is win, 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 no matter what. There is no land like that, right? And so the wins live in the land of failure, and yeses live in the land of no. This is not a negative thing, right? This is just a challenge, really, to recommit to what we're up to reaffirm who we are, not just as people, but in our industry, to reaffirm our true and hard-fought, hard-won expertise. And so I don't want you to think of failure as anything other than like, you know, a chance to recommit, a chance to take the lessons that you've learned and move forward. And as I tell my kids, like, you know, I fail all the time, right? I just don't talk about it as much. I don't dwell on it, right? I fail, and that actually affirms that I'm trying something new, that I keep getting back up, and that my failure actually guarantees my ultimate and ongoing success, because I'm constantly trying and I'm constantly learning. Here's a common misconception about being an entrepreneur. So I guess I'm in my, 19th year of being a self-bosser. I don't know. I know my oldest is 18, and I went full-time self-bosser about almost 17 years ago. And so, but I've been at this a long time, and I can tell you that there was a common misconception for me. I felt like I would reach a point in my business that I didn't feel any fear anymore, that I didn't have any resistance anymore, that I didn't feel stuck or down or like I was spinning my wheels. I felt like all of those things were early entrepreneur sort of growing pains. Fast forward 19 years, and I realized that this is sort of just like failure. It is sort of part of the game. It is sort of part of what we do here, right? And we're human, and that means that our emotions do go up and down, right? Our moods change. Things happen to us that we wish didn't happen, or they don't happen as fast as they wish they would happen, and we're impacted by all of this. It's the human condition being played out in the world of entrepreneurial pursuit. And so all of this stuff is a guarantee, frankly, right? And the truth is, like, don't go out there and take down your shingle. The truth is, all of these things are also just a guarantee in life. It doesn't matter if you're a self-bosser, right? All of these things are guaranteed. And the key is to really navigate and manage those, but not just managing to get through them, but also expecting them and recognizing them and having a plan for how you're going to leverage them, right? In fact, I have something right in front of me, and I couldn't find it because I just put something new up, but it says fear and anxiety are preparing me for optimal performance, right? Like, I have that right here on my bulletin board right behind my computer, so that I see it as a reminder that these things are guarantees, that they don't mean anything. It doesn't mean I'm on the wrong track. It doesn't mean that I shouldn't push forward. It doesn't mean that I should push pause. All that it means is that I'm human. And when I'm doing something new, when I am trying to take new ground, then I'm going to feel some fear and anxiety. I'm going to, when circumstances don't work out the way I predicted they would, I'm going to feel a little bit of angst. This is who we are as humans, right? And it plays out on the business battlefield as well. Well, I'll tell you that the people who ultimately create an income that they're proud of and a lifestyle that is according to their own priorities, those people learn to live and expect and leverage that sort of human, fear, anxiety, overwhelm, whatever, right? Not that you're overcome by it, right? That's a whole different thing, and I've been there as well. I'm just talking about not being surprised when it happens, having go-to tools to help you navigate. So, for instance, when I'm in resistance, like when I'm procrastinating, or I am not doing what I know to do, what I know how to do, what I know I should be doing, then I have like go-to journal prompts for that. When I'm feeling like really, really low vibe, and I'm feeling just like, I just don't have anything in me anymore, like today, then I push forward that with some journaling prompts, and I kind of get down to the heart of what I really want to share with my market. And so these are things that I just want you to expect and learn how to leverage? If you have a question about that, just put them in the comments below. The truth is, you can absolutely create your business on your own terms, and as I have, right? And it doesn't eliminate these human feelings that we have and that we have to plan for and leverage. And on that note, before I get into some of the questions that came in about membership options, I just want to remind you, and I'm going to put up some quotes. It's like my new favorite quote from myself, which is, I fail so much that it would be impossible for me not to succeed. Why? Because failure lives in the land of success, right? That is where you find success, is when you're able to consciously fail fast, right? It's never my goal, but I certainly don't dwell on it anymore. I fail too much to dwell on it, and because I'm taking new ground each and every day. If you will, I'm going to take a sip of water, but if you will put your questions in about the membership details, and again, if you're watching, if you want a free membership blueprint of how to create an actually profitable membership program, put member in the comments below. I see Deborah did that from Texas. Deborah, I just got introduced, Debbie Adams from Canada just introduced me to someone who also does some therapy with horses. And so you guys need to probably connect. I'll try to connect you on the page. Debbie, I love the candor. She says, we still feel the fear. The biggest blessing for me has been surrounding myself with people like you. Thank you so much. I tell you, it needs to be put into the sales page for Women Who Wow, right? Because you're not going to create the business that you could create and that you should create and that you dream of creating. You're never going to create that on your own, right? Like success is never created in a vacuum. This is a lesson hard learned from me because I am so much a hermit, right? I'm so much a hermit, and I prefer solitude. I literally prefer solitude. But when I'm up to something really big, when I'm up to something that is going to stretch me, that's going to strain my potential until it screams for mercy, when I'm up to something like that, I need the support of other people. Not just in terms of, hey, Michelle, or hey, Debbie, can you help me? Not that, although that's fine too, but we need people who are showing us that it's possible, right? When we're surrounding ourselves, as we have in the Women Who Wow membership, when we're surrounding ourselves with other women sort of like us, they're seriously driven, they're not cutting themselves slack, they're not accepting their own bull crap or excuses. When we're surrounding ourselves with that, like, we can be inspired by the success of others, and we can be lifted up when we are kind of feeling like, you know, just blah, or that we don't have much to offer, or we're just kind of in a rut. Like, we can look around ourselves and we can see our peers who are killing it, and that really raises us up, right? It really helps us elevate not our mood, our actions, our pricing, our marketing, like how we show up every day. It is just absolutely critical to be surrounding yourself with people who are achieving, right? Who are setting goals and achieving them. I wrote an article a while back on the treadmill of business, and it is a dangerously seductive place to go. And with Women Who Wow, we are not on a treadmill in business. We are actually, and in real life, taking new ground all the time. And so anyway, so I appreciate that comment, Debbie. So let's move on. If you want the member blueprint, just put member in the comments below, and I will definitely shoot it over to you. It's absolutely free. But here's the thing. There's a couple questions that come in all the time about membership, right? And one of them is, you know, can I create a membership? I'm in this industry, or I'm here, or whatever. Can I create a membership? And the truth is, sure, you can create a membership, but it's not so much that. It's more about, should you create a membership, right? Like, here's some things that I wrote an article today. You can read about all the kind of what a membership can do for you. Like, obviously, it simplifies your life. It buys you time. I cannot overstress that. It buys you time. But it also dramatically increases your income, and it makes everything else that you sell outside of membership, it makes it so much easier to sell. In fact, that's really how I stumbled on membership in the first place. In 2008, 2009, I wanted to make a, oh, thank you for asking Angela to come. Deborah from Texas, Angela, who Debbie just tagged, is the woman I was just talking to you about. So you guys might want to connect. And Angela or Debbie, if you can type in. I'm not sure where Angela is from, so I'm not sure if she is in Nova Scotia, where you are, or someplace else. So if you could answer that, that would be great. Where was I on the membership thing? Oh, should you create a membership, right? So it's not so much can I. I believe nearly everyone can. I gave a lot of examples of that in an article I wrote a while back, like construction firms, you have legal firms who have done this, you've got exercise companies, you've got all sorts of people who have created membership sites, and this is something that a lot of people can do. And the key is really, should you do it? Do you want to have that kind of relationship with your target market, right? Do you want to have that kind of candor and authenticity and ongoing relationship? Because it's not all roses, right? There's an expectation of that. There's work involved in that. There's a showing up every day involved with that, right? Relationships, true relationships, are built on daily conversation. And so the key is really, should you create a membership? Well, are you absolutely passionate about whatever you'd create your membership around, right? If you're sorry, my nose itches every time I go online. If you are quasi-passionate about it, then your passion will erode really, really quickly, right? Really quickly. So if you're quasi-passionate about whatever you would do your membership about, then I would say you probably shouldn't create a membership, because your fuel will die out before the membership takes off, right? If you're absolutely passionate about it, and you want and desire a real two-way relationship with your market, then there's no better way to simplify your life and increase your income than creating a membership program. Again, I stumbled on it in 2008, 2009, frankly, as a way for me to sell my first multi-day, multi-$1,000 event. Right? So I wanted to make a certain amount of money. I had created a 2.5-day intensive, a 3-day intensive, and I wanted to make $5,000 per person for this intensive, and I wanted to have 10 to 12 people in it. So it was a big financial goal for me at the time, and I wanted to meet it. And so I was like, well, I don't know that I'm big enough. I don't know that I'm famous enough. I don't know if I'm successful enough to have people pay me $5,000 for 3 days. And so I said, okay, well, what I'll do is I'll turn a 3-day program into a 6-month program, a 3-day event into a 6-month program. And what I did was I sold the 3 days, and I used these words, and I said, but that's just the beginning, right? So this is how I stumbled into membership. If you want, Kathy, if you want the member blueprint, just type member in the comments below, or anybody who just joined us. If you'd like a blueprint on how to create your own membership, then just type member in the comments below. But how I stumbled on it was essentially as a guarantee, so that somebody who might be thinking, who is this chick going to charge $5,000 for 3 days with her in like Podunk, Chesapeake, Virginia? I was absolutely, determined to make the money, determined to sell it for $5,000. So I created a membership sort of option on the back end, and in the sales invite for that 3-day event, I said, but this is only the beginning, right? It's only the beginning, because our 3 days together is what starts our relationship. But then for the next 6 months, and I kind of laid out this little membership program without calling it that, right? And so that's how things started for me. It was very, very simple. And then I charged $100 on the back end of that every month, on the back end of that 6 months. But what happened was they fell in love with that easy access to me. They fell in love with that accountability, the camaraderie. And back then, I didn't have any community, really, except for the live events. What I had was I didn't have a Facebook group. I had an email, and I had phone, and I didn't even have a way for people to make appointments to talk with me on the phone. It was literally a phone that I plugged in on member call-in days, and you called in, and if I didn't answer, it's because I was on the phone with someone else, and you just called back, and it was kind of like a first come, first serve sort of thing. So not exactly ideal, but within a couple of months, it was generating 10,000 plus a month. And so that was my first sort of experience with membership sites. So here's what people are asking all the time. And I just wanted to put it out there because I get asked all the time. I will continue to answer it all the time. I'm in a membership group right now that I'm kind of looking around and I'm seeing like what people are answering, because I do have the membership miracle going on right now. And I'm looking around and I see that that everybody's asking the same questions, right? So one of the questions is like, I'm so not technical, can I still have a membership site? And so whenever I'm asked that, I want to say, have you met me, right? Like, have you literally had any conversations with me whatsoever? I'm as low tech as they come. I know enough to be dangerous in a website, but if you want, by the way, if you just came on, if you want a free membership blueprint on how to create your own membership program, just put member in the comments below. I can't really see who's coming on. I can just see numbers. But so anyway, so the thing they ask is about the technology, right? What should I put, like what member plugin should I use on WordPress? They'll ask about communities and Facebook groups versus a place where you have to log in and have a community, and the pros and cons of each. They ask about all of these leverageable things. Like they ask about how to make your membership you know, grow, and how to automate this and automate that. And here's the thing. As I said before, my first membership had 2 member benefits and used 2 tools, email and phone. And that was something that was brilliantly simple. And it was where I fell in love with membership. Unfortunately, I let it die because I was looking at something very shiny, and I pursued that for a little while, and then came back to what I loved about membership. But it is, you do not need to be a technical genius to run a membership program. If you are in Women Who Wow, you already know this. Prior to having our super fancy, and I'm saying that as an irony, right? Like, but our super fancy membership site, before, like what you got was a BCC email from me. That was it, right? Like all of your material was delivered through email. And actually, some people complain it's not that way today. That's the truth. Yeah, we went to this membership site, everybody has their own login and blah, blah, blah. And people are saying like, can't you just send it to us via email like you used to? And so we are going to be accommodating that. But what kind of technology do you need? One, like use the bare minimum first. Prove your concept first, right? Prove your membership first. Do not get hung up in the technology of it. Do not. Even Women Who Wow, I'm not talking 2008, 2009. I'm talking Women Who Wow. Even then, when we first began this in earnest, it was a BCC email list. That's how I ran my membership, right? And so, and then teleconferencing, not even live video. So if you're interested in a membership, put member below. I'll give you a free blueprint, but do not get hung up in the technology questions. Aside from that, a lot of the technology questions are questions of scale, which, newsflash, you don't need yet. Right? Like, I can't stand that. It's one of the things that, and it's not just with membership sites, actually. It's with anything. I cannot stand, it's like one of my pet peeves, when people I talk to who don't have yet their first paying client or member are spending a boatload of time on generating scale, right? On automating, on, you know, taking the human interaction out so they can automate for these big bucks. And automation, scale, leverage, newsflash, only comes on the back of paying clients and members. Secure them first. Serve the heck out of them, right? That's how you get your membership immediately profitable. That and only that. We can always scale. We can always change the technology. We can always add different components. But in the beginning, you want to make it simple. You want to build your membership not on JV relationships. None of that. Not on content even, really, which was one thing mistake I made in the beginning. But you want to build it on relationships, on accountability, on that eye-to-eye kind of community and camaraderie. And so we don't need technology for that. Don't get hung up in that. You can always scale. Memberships are amazing for scale. It is quite shocking to me how my own income has grown with Women Who Wow, because it gives me the simplicity of the singular, right? So I have one place to show up, one market to serve, one one thing to sell. Like if I was interviewed just before this call for some speaking thing I'm doing later on in the year, and they were asking me about a whole bunch of stuff. But the key is, I really want the singular kind of focus. And what worked out for me is I didn't have to like come up with like another offer. I didn't have to think up something else to sell. I didn't have to do any of that. You know, it's a ready-made evergreen thing that I can invite people in at any time that I want, and it's become just the core of my income in my business. If you want a blueprint for generating your own free membership site, put member in the comments below, and I will be sure to get that out to you. The ink's not dry on it yet. I'm still formulating that. I really want it to be a really candid resource for you guys, so that you know just the essentials, like so you can eliminate the BS of creating a membership site, and just really start to serve people, make it profitable from day one. And frankly, you're gonna have to go someplace else for scaling to thousands and thousands of members. Because I'm just not the technical person for that. But if you want to make 5 figures a month, 6 figures a month, if you want to make mid-6 figures a year on a membership core to your business, then I can help you do that. So I'm really putting a lot into that free membership blueprint. And the reason that I'm doing that, frankly, is when I first began my own journey into membership, I detailed this on the sales page, but it bears repeating now, because when I wanted help with this, I kind of stumbled into membership, as I said earlier. And then when I sought to find help, oh, hey, Corinne Boudreau, excellent, another person from Nova Scotia. So welcome, Corinne. Anyway, so when I first began looking for help with trying to find help for my membership program, I found someone who some of our members know, because our members met at her event in Vegas, and she was selling like one of the first ever programs I saw of like how to create a membership. And I knew that I had the coaching gem, right, generating 10,000 plus a month, but I was like, well, I need to like really formalize this. I need to learn how to leverage it, how to scale it, how to grow it, like all this other stuff. And so I was meeting with one of her salespeople, and I said, well, great. I said, on her site, I can't find her membership program. And they're like, oh, she doesn't run a membership program. And yet she's teaching like how to grow it, how to launch it. One of the biggest things for membership is keeping it going, right? Keeping it going and keeping it fresh and hot and ready all the time for members who have been in there for years. It's like a marriage, actually, right? It really is like a marriage, where you have someone that everything is hot and fresh and new in the beginning, and then you've got to find a way to keep it hot and fresh and new, or else, people start straying. And so it's very much like a marriage in that regard. And I'm thinking, she hasn't even done any of it yet, and she's teaching about membership. And so it was really eye-opening for me. And then recently I hired someone for $8,000 to help me with membership, and essentially what he was suggesting would have taken all the heart out of Women Who Wow. And so I immediately discarded all of that advice. And when I went around and looked again, I found a lot of fluff and a lot of bullcrap that I know won't work and will spend you broke, not just in money, but also in time and energy. And so that's why I'm creating the free blueprint. Obviously, I've got the Membership Miracle for sale right now, and it's a beta program. It's outrageous value, but if you want that, email me and I'll give you information about that. But this free resource is going to be of tremendous value as well for anybody who can't afford and or it's not the right time for them to do the Membership Miracle with me in the beta program. So okay, I'm going to move on to another question about membership. If you have a question about membership, or if you're on and you have a membership of your own, please let me know. Put those in the comments below while I take a sip of water. So the next question about membership is how to promote it, how to launch it, how to get it going, right? From nothing, from like idea to income. And that's the subtitle of my, the free membership blueprint, from idea to income. And there's a lot of different ways to start a membership. And I have done a couple of those. And actually, I think I've done all of those, but depending on what your goals are and what you really see for your membership will help you determine which of those routes to take. I grew Women Who Wow very, very slowly, and the reason was I could have grown it faster and made a lot more money sooner, but that wasn't my motivating factor at the time because my monetary stuff was already met through my consulting. So I didn't have to make money right away. If I did, I would have done it very differently. But for me, the brand of Women Who Wow was extremely important. I was not willing to grow a women's organization that attracted any old member. I simply wasn't willing to do that. I was not willing for Women Who Wow to be confused with any other women's group who, you know, where you go in and people are selling like lipstick and every speaker is talking about dressing for success or confidence or any of that bull crap. I needed the brand to be so strong in the beginning that it could grow and scale and leverage later without losing the core of the brand, which is seriously driven women entrepreneurs, right? We're not playing around. We're not playing business. We're not just dancing with it. You know, we're really in this to win it. And so that was very important to me. And so I grew WOW. I grew this membership very slowly. I literally grew it by print invite only. If you need quick money, that's not the way to go. And there are other ways to go. And I can definitely, and that's really, I'll just share with you now, that is launching a membership on the back of a product, program, or event. So that's a very quick way. However, I don't want you to, whether you already have a membership, you're starting a membership, you're in the middle of selling a membership, maybe you're losing some faith in the fact that your membership can be profitable. I need you to know that there is no substitute when you're beginning a membership for inviting people into membership with you, right? Deborah from Texas, Debbie from Nova Scotia, Kathy from Williamsburg, Virginia, are all on the call live right now, and they know, they can tell you that they are here via my direct invite, right? And even people, I think Debbie Adams was an invite maybe from Kathy, and then there is, I think Deborah from Texas was an invite from Maricela from West Virginia. I could have that wrong, I'm not positive. But if I'm right, give me some thumbs up so I know that I'm right. But either way, like this membership and your membership will grow through personal invite, even though Debbie was invited, and even though Deborah was invited, and even though Kathy was one of our like founding members, right? I still went and invited them personally. I would love for you to join Women Who Wow, right? I didn't just leave it to a sales page. I never, you know, I write good copy. I do. It's one of my skill sets. But I do not and will not rely on sales copy for growing a membership in those early days, right? What will grow your membership, the singular and again, non-technical way to grow your membership is by having a hit list, right? People that you know would represent your brand well, that would benefit from this, that are looking for this, that maybe asked you or whatever, and going into them and inviting them. Deborah, I would love for you to come into this program, or whatever, right? Corinne, I would love for you to join Women Who Wow. You need to go to them directly. And I even will say, because people will say, oh, well, I'm sure this isn't you, but whatever. And I'm like, no, it's me. I'm right here on the other side of the email. I'm emailing you right now. And I would love to have you. And here's why. And so it's something that we don't want to miss. This is something that I hear a lot of different answers to. I've been watching around the internet for people who are teaching other people how to grow memberships or even other group programs, fill events, et cetera, and they skip over the invitation process. Why? It's unpopular. Why? Because people who are hiring these people to grow their membership or fill their event or whatever, they want to do it without eye-to-eye selling, right? It's like wanting to win a war without hand-to-hand combat. I get it. I get it, but there's no quicker, more profitable way to launch. If you want to launch through JVs and affiliate offers, if you want to launch through paid Facebook ads, if you want to launch through any of that, you can do it, right? It's going to be longer. It's going to take longer. It won't be as rewarding because you just never know what you're going to get, right? It's going to feel uphill. And either way, we need to get over our fear of, or our resistance maybe, of that eye-to-eye selling. Do you guys have any questions for me specifically about memberships, or we started talking about failure or fear here? And so do you have any questions for me about that before I'll wrap up? And I don't, today's Labor Day, I'm off all day, but I am really just kind of digging in to everything that I've been holding back on saying these last couple of weeks, and so I would love to hear from you guys if you have a specific question that you want me to answer, and I can stay as long as you want. But one more point about the membership program. Not the one I'm selling, just about your membership program that maybe you want to sell, or you want to create, or you want to breathe some new life into. And so one more point, and if you have any questions, I'll answer them, so type them in now. But one more point about that is that these membership programs have a life of their own. They are a living, breathing entity, and you need to treat them accordingly, right? And so, yes, now Women Who Wow is technically, it's open to anyone, right? Like you can go to womenwhowwow.com, pay the money, and get in, right? That's the truth. But I'm very, very deliberate about the copy that I use, about the when I'm speaking. If I drive people to Women Who Wow, I am very deliberate about rolling the red carpet out for a certain type of women entrepreneur, and also using phraseology and words that will keep a certain other woman entrepreneur out, because we are a community, and because it's equally important. Who gets in is equally important to who doesn't get in, and who doesn't kind of alter the barometer in our community. And so and we're quick, we will refund money and get people out of there if they're not a good fit, if they if sort of the way what they're bringing to the group is not really on brand for us. We do refund money and get them out of here. And that's the thing about memberships that people are missing so much of, because, and that's why, there's a low cost to barrier to opening a membership now. You can get a member plugin for like $15. You can, get your website done for $125, slap up a good logo, and you're in business. And people are not taking the care in designing the offer, the ideal member kind of thing. You're not actually putting enough thought into that, because what's happening is, just like the two questions that I covered, and if you just logged in, I covered things about technology and also about promoting your membership, and you can just kind of look back through the video from the beginning for that. But people are so focused on that. How will I promote the membership, or what technical things do I need, that they skip over the beating heart of what creates a profitable membership from day one, and a membership that will continue to grow in stature and popularity, grow in demand, grow in number, grow in intimacy, which I think is a very, very good litmus test for how healthy your membership is how intimate you are with your members, and how intimate your members are with each other. And there's different ways to see this at play, but intimacy when you see it, right? Like you can look at a couple and tell if they're truly intimate, if they have a thriving relationship. And you can look into Women Who Wow or any other membership and see the fabric there of how intimate are they, how aligned are they, how heart focused are they. And so anyway, so it looks like no additional questions are coming in. And so if you want the free membership blueprint, it is not done yet. It will be very, it'll be very detailed, and I'm putting a lot into that just to kind of thumb my nose at the people who are out there teaching memberships, some who have memberships and a lot of them that don't. And if you want that, just put member in the comments below, and I will get that out to you as soon as the ink dries on that. I will be live a couple more times today, just discussing various things that come up throughout the day, and I look forward to answering your questions. And if you have not turned in your guess for what the Women Who Wow Live in Richmond, Virginia, what our theme is going to be October 26th and 27th, you have got to do that. There's one more day to do that. So you can PM me, you can email me, Michelle@WomenWhoWow.com. In our Facebook group, there are a bunch of different blog posts. All of them have our theme written into it. Our weekly hustle videos on the membership site, there's a couple of those that have our theme spoken into it. And so what you'll see if you're reading them is you'll see there's a couple of phrases, or there's one phrase that's repeated a few different times, and that is not only going to be the theme for our event in October, but it's also going to, oh, Debbie, you I'm just going to look. Debbie from Nova Scotia says she emailed me her guess, and I'm going to see if she got it right, so that if you didn't, you can put it in again. So everyone who gets it right will be entered to win not just a free ticket to Women Who Wow Live, but also free hotel stay while you're here in Richmond. So let me see. Shoot, I don't see your email, Debbie. Did you Facebook it to me, or did you email it? Okay, so Facebook. Okay, I haven't seen it yet, but I will. I'll look for it. Okay, so I think that is all. And if you have any questions for me, you can put them in the comments below. I'll answer them in the comments, and or also on the on my next live stream. So thank you guys for joining me live. I will be back probably around maybe 2 o'clock today, and we will do something else again. So if you have a topic that you want me to cover, I will. What I will be covering at 2 p.m. today live is how to pitch influencers in your industry, and how to use your story for that, and the different components of your story, which I think is really cool. And so we'll go over we'll go over that a lot. You don't have to take notes on that if you're a Women Who Wow member, because this is also based off of our strategy sheet, which I'll upload into the member site soon. So looking forward to hearing from you guys. If you want that member blueprint, type member in the comments, and Debbie, I'll get back with you to see if you guessed correctly. Talk with you soon. Bye.